to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. I'm Aurelio Martinez, Steven Johnson, and I'll tell you this week we got a very interesting topic we're going to talk about in this first segment. Kind of fit right into place, Steve, because there really wasn't any professional boxing this past weekend to talk about. So it was going to be pretty hard to talk about our recapping this past week's fights. But we have an intriguing event that happened over the weekend that kind of had everyone kind of looking, kind of interested, and it's just the nature of the beast. And I'm talking about bare knuckles boxing. Okay, I guess I can say they made their debut, right? It was a pay-per-view. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I know you saw some of it. Was it a stream pay-per-view? Online pay-per-view? Or was it a network?
No, it was. I got mine through Dish.
Okay,
so actually Comcast that I have.
Okay,
Comcast.
so it was a legitimate network.
Yeah, it was legitimate.
But anyhow, we want to talk about this whole bare knuckles thing. You know, that like now some people are all for it. Other people are saying no, it's dangerous. The safety guys, they're saying no, you can't. And then you have just the barbaric fans that say no, I'm going to watch it because I want to see someone. I want to see blood. I want to see someone get knocked out. I want to see this. But tell us a little bit about from what you've seen, and is it something that you feel is going to take off?
Well, let me say first of all, the reason that I watched it, and I actually told you I thought I was paying $19.95. I paid $29.95 for the pay-per-view. But the reason I was watching it is because Denver's Alma Garcia, big fan of Alma.
Okay.
You know, and she was fighting Beck Rawlings, who was a former UFC competitor. And we'll actually, you know, in our next group of guys where we have Albert Rosales and Evan Hartzog, Albert knows more
MMA
about
segment.
Albert knows more about Beck, give a better background of Beck Rawlings. So I was there to watch it, just to watch Alma Garcia. But what I found interesting is that David Feldman, who is the promoter, you know, he did several nice interviews where he said, you know, building up to the fight, that when they first were approved by Mr. Pedersen from the Wyoming Combat Commission, said that there were a lot of people that were like, no, we don't want it, you know, it's barbaric. But after they got there, so they were welcomed, warmly welcomed, and people were very friendly. And after the product was over with, he's saying that, you know, that things look good. Now, let me back that up by saying that USA Today said that the place was sold out, the ice arena there was sold out with 2,000 people. But according to USA, Aurelio, they said that tens of thousands people purchased the pay-per-view. Okay? Now, you and I know probably a lot of that was there was nothing else from boxing going on Saturday night.
Yeah.
But the fact that, you know, you go on your inaugural thing and you go $29.95 and you sell tens of thousands. Well, I would say that's a credit to them. But they did a great job of marketing. Let me say that. Yeah. I mean, it was everywhere. I mean, I don't even know if there was nothing else going on if they would have done it next weekend. Oh, it would have been in the tank.
Okay, well let's get to the fights. I mean,
wait a minute. I'm saying marketing for a background. I'm giving it to you.
Marketing is something we don't. First of all, $29.99 is pretty steep in my opinion.
I'm saying.
Okay, another thing for them to get 10,000 shows that there is interest in the fight. Regardless of what they did, obviously put a lot of money into this. They redesigned
$500,000.
They redesigned the ring to actually be circular with ropes, so it's not a cage. Yeah. So you're not the fans aren't obstructed views like MMA. They do that, but the thing that a lot of these fighters are migrating to this. Even a lot of professional boxers. I mean, there was a couple on there that are migrating to this thing. There had to be good signs, but the fights themselves, were they worth it?
Well, let's be honest. All the fighters, the names that were on there, like one of the guys that competitor, Bobby Gunn. You remember him from Kimbo Slice, you know, with the outdoor brawls that they used to have, underground fighting. Okay, he's there. The boxers, even Beck Rawlings, you know, Alma, on the downside of their career. So I could see some. At one time, they said Paul Spadafore was going to compete.
Yep.
Okay, so you get fighters that may be on the downsides of careers, maybe even closer to the to the casket of their careers, okay, will be competitive, but it's all going to depend on, you know, how it's received, as you said earlier, by the rest of the country's commissions.
Well, obviously, I'm saying anyone that gets into a bare knuckle boxing career, you'd have to say, Steve, that it's going to be a short-lived career. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be a it's not going to be like boxers that are going to be able to box for 10, 12, 13 years and make it a lasting career.
Yeah.
You can count that out. Bare knuckles, your career is probably going to last 2 years. Okay?
I'm thinking 2-3 fights, you know.
That's what I mean. That's probably a couple of years, 24 months, because not so much that it's brutal. It's just that on both sides of the equation, it's tough on the body. If you're getting hit, naturally you're going to get beat up, bruised, cut, a lot of damage. If you're one hitting, you're going to get a lot of hand damage. There's nothing to protect your wrist. There's nothing to protect your knuckles. You're going to start breaking. I mean, boxers break knuckles. Boxers break hands, and they got the gloves. So you hit someone on the cranium with the bare knuckle. Yes, you may hurt him, but you're going to break something. So we can expect a short-lived career for any boxer that gets into bare knuckle boxing.
Well, let me say this: credit to Mr. Feldman. Okay, they had not one but 2 ringside doctors. Okay. Not one but 2 ambulances. Okay, but he stressed earlier in the week, you know, that it was going to be as safe as could be possible. And the reason I mention that is because when you got 2 doctors and 2 ambulances, I mean we acknowledge. There's no question, bare knuckle. That's why it's not sanctioned. It's all big. You know, don't forget, it's big time in the UK. It is big time in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, it's big time in the UK. United States is still considered barbaric, and the reason it was stopped is because you remember back in the 1800s when the cops in New York said, we got to stop this because there were dudes that were getting blasted out, and it was a big bloody mess, and then you have fights in the crowd, you know. It's one of those things. So we'll see how it all, but a credit to Feldman last night on there was no, according to the USA Today, there were no instances, and I know they would have loved to say, you know, well, I shouldn't say they'd love to. They would have reported that there was some craziness that went on. I think he did as much as you could do, but I think, like you said, for as long as it lasts, I think it'll have a good following.
Well, I think there's a little niche there. I think what the Feldman has to do is he really has to, because there's no way that I believe any state in the union would allow this with open arms. Back a year ago, but to the credit, and I think who really opened the doors for this man to have this event and venue and all that in Wyoming was the local guy in Wyoming, Corey Williams. Now he's been doing bare knuckle boxing for years in background and in Wyoming. Okay, so he's already kind of conditioned the politics in Wyoming that bare knuckles is good. So basically, it was an easy move for Feldman to go into Wyoming because one, they've already been doing bare knuckles. Granted, it wasn't on this level. It was bar boxing
type, yeah.
Okay, but still, it was being allowed. So now he goes into Wyoming and says, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to pick it up to a large nationwide level, okay? So it was kind of easy to get him. I'm kind of anxious to see if he's going to be stuck in Wyoming or is he going to be able to go to other non-commissioned states and try to do his own thing. Now, I don't know, but we're going to find out. And
I don't see why he couldn't. I'm being honest. You know, like I said, I went on to watch it just for our support for Alma Garcia and see how she did. And Alma got stopped by Beck Rawlings, but Alma got busted up pretty good. I'm a little bit concerned about her. She's trained by our boys, Jim Smitty Smith, and Rick Calzada.
My concern
from Poor Boys.
My concern with that, before I forget, is Alma just fought in a boxing event
last week,
a week ago, and now she's gonna her body. You get into a boxing event, 10 seconds, and you get into a boxing event, and your body just gets tired because you fight hard, and And then a week is just not enough time to recover. As a matter of fact,
She had a tough fight last week.
yes, she did. And as a matter of fact, well, she fought Hannah and
Turlip.
Hannah Turlip, and it was a very tough fight. And for her to come back a week later, and fight in a bare knuckles brawl, her body just couldn't be ready for another battle like that.
But that's Alma, man. Alma will fight anytime,
well,
anywhere.
well.
What do you mean where? Well, she will. That's her. And this is what this sport, if you want to call it, this sport is made for it. People want to fight anytime, anywhere.
Maybe we'll see her next week on next week's card.
Well, maybe we might get you on there. Showed everybody he's got his new diet. He's losing his panza. There's a reason that's going on. So you want to keep secret what's going on there?
I got a challenge with my fighters. Show them that this old man can show them up. But anyway, that kind of concludes our first segment, and we'll watch the bare knuckles thing because I think if it kicks like it did and did so well, money making ventures draws big corporations and big people with money. So Feldman, I don't think he has a free pass on this. He just showed that it's a good money. So if it's good and it opens up to other states, watch someone even bigger than him come in and start doing this and make, because it's all about the dollars. It's all about the dead presidents.
Well, hey, in our second segment, we're going to talk about what you guys have been waiting for, we've been waiting for. We got Terrence Crawford and Jeff Horn.
You bet.
Fighting in Las Vegas. And then we have Abner Maris and Leo Santa Cruz, too. Good. And we'll talk about that when we come back in our second segment.
All right. Till then, Steve.
Hey,
keep your hands up.
keep it up.